Good morning. Detectives hunting for William Tyrrell have announced they will use new techniques as they target another search area near Kendal on the New South Wales mid-north coast. The then 3-year-old disappeared more than 7 years ago from his grandmother's house and is presumed to have been abducted. Robert Ovadia reports.
Police simply refuse to allow this to lurch into the category of cold case. The disappearance of William Tyrrell continues to get investigative attention, and just a short time ago, one of the state's most senior detectives held a media conference here, not just to update us on where the investigation is, but to reveal new search locations on the mid-north coast that are yet to be examined. They will be a focus today and over the coming weeks.
We're anticipating 2 to 3 weeks of work. In that time, there'll be hundreds of police officers and other people engaged. There's a number of locations and a very high intensity search being planned, so that's the amount of people we'll require.
It's more than 7 years now since 3-year-old William vanished from his foster grandmother's home at Kendal near Port Macquarie on the mid-north coast. Despite an exhaustive investigation, coronial inquests and a number of people of interest, each person has been subsequently ruled out. But sources tell me Strikeforce Roseanne is making decent progress, that investigators are confident inquiries are heading in the right direction, in a very specific direction in fact, and that they believe a result will come for one of the country's most enduring missing persons cases.
It's highly likely that if we found something, it would be a body. We are looking for the remains of William Tyrrell, there's no doubt about that.
With any luck, today's searches and those searches over the coming weeks will yield a good result.
All right, thanks folks, thanks for coming. Look, you'd all be aware of the disappearance of William Tyrrell in September of 2014. That investigation still sits with the State Crime Command Homicide Squad, and they've been working actively in recent months and years to solve the crime. So today I'm alerting the media that we're going to be doing some operational activity in the Kendal area over the coming weeks. That's going to involve many hundreds of police officers involved in searching a number of locations. This activity is in response to evidence we've obtained in the course of the investigation. It's not speculative in any way. We're acting on behalf of the coroner, and in conjunction with coronial orders, she will be kept updated with regard to our progress. We won't be providing daily commentary about what's taking place, as you'd understand. There's a large amount of work to be undertaken. We're using specialist areas and people from outside the police force. We're very hopeful that we can bring this matter to some sort of conclusion, and I thank you for your ongoing interest. I'd also like to remind everyone from the public that there's still a $1 million reward for information leading to the conviction of a person with regard to this, so if you have any information, please ring Crime Stoppers or the local police. Yeah, that's about it.
You're talking about hundreds of police officers, but you talk about a specific geographical area. It can't be that specific if you need hundreds of police officers. Can you tell us more about that?
So we're anticipating 2 to 3 weeks of work. In that time, there'll be hundreds of police officers and other people engaged. There's a number of locations and a very high intensity search being planned. So that's the amount of people we'll require.
Darren, you'll be encouraged by the fact that of all the thousands of leads you've got, this is off the back of something that is headed in a very specific direction, isn't it?
This is in response to evidence we've obtained in the course of the investigation, there's no doubt about that.
Is this new evidence that's come to light recently, or is this going back over, I guess, old bits that may have been missed originally in the investigation?
There's an investigative review that's been undertaken, which is an ongoing process, but this is also new evidence.
So the coroner's inquest, that was supposed to have their findings earlier this year. That obviously hasn't happened yet. Do you anticipate more hearings? You obviously believe there's more evidence that needs to be presented.
The coroner's well aware of this. There's a scheduled coroner's inquest to continue early in the new year. We don't have specific dates yet, but the coroner's involved in our investigation and we're responding to her orders.
Report this morning of trees being chopped down, for instance. Can you detail any of the nature of what will be occurring?
There'll be a number of strategies used by the police and other agencies to clear ground and go subterranean in a number of locations.
Is this around where he disappeared from? Is that the area in Kendal that you're looking at, or will you be going sort of further afield?
There's 3 specific locations, and they're all in the Kendal area.
Now, David Laidlaw has recently said publicly that he believes he knows who took William. Do you want to reiterate that today? Do you know who took William?
I don't know who took William, but we're hoping to find out through this investigation.
To be clear, are you looking for a body?
It's highly likely that if we found something, it would be a body. We are looking for the remains of William Tyrrell, there's no doubt about that.
And there's also been a subpoena delivered to Channel 10 and its podcast, the Where's William Tyrrell podcast. This comes from the coroner's investigation. Is this related in any way to what's happening now?
There's a lot of activity in and around this investigation. It's all related.
So just to summarise, do you believe this will conclude the investigation?
We're hopeful that it'll take us a degree towards proving an offence or finding out what happened to William Tyrrell. I'm not anticipating a swift end of the investigation by any means.
There was a very thorough search conducted a few years ago before the inquest started that covered a huge area around where William disappeared.
Yep.
Will this be going over old ground?
No, it's new locations, and it's a different type of search method. And as you know, that search that was previously done found nothing.
How's it a different type of search method?
We've got some specialist assistance with regard to what we're going to do. I'm not going to go into the technicalities of it, but suffice to say, experts from outside the police force will be assisting us and providing guidance to the police of what they're going to do.
When you speak of new evidence, does this come from what the military call human intelligence? Do you have a human being who is guiding this search?
It's on the holistic nature of a number of pieces of evidence that we've brought together in terms of analysis, and we think this provides us with the best chance of finding him.
So it's not because you've got a tip-off from anybody?
I'm not going to go into specifics.
Is this in relation to a suspect who's previously been ruled out that you're now reinvestigating?
I'm not going to go into any specific suspects or ruling anyone out. We all good? Thank you, folks. Thanks for looking after me.